Hey folks, Moosetro here. I've got another episode for you. In this episode, we're going to be focusing on getting our trains up and running. So I've created a logistic group where I've got the train resources in it. They've been dropped off in my inventory, and we are going to start playing around with setting up some key things within the train network. So before we set up key things in the train network, we should, of course, create a idea of what our rail system is going to look like. And I designed the perimeter to have the rails come in side by side like this. And I think for all of my intersections, I'm going to want to do T intersections rather than four-way intersections. So I need to create a recipe book where I've got the cross rails, I've got the right angle, I've got the T intersection, and then probably a couple other ones. So here's our first one. It is simple cross rails. Not cross rails, just, well, simply straight across. And we can see that it rotates within its grid, so we've got a good blueprint for that. And now we want to create the T intersection. So we'll just go ahead and drop that down. And then I'm going to need to create the right angles for, or the turns for the T. Okay, the T works, and now I need to put some rail signals down on it. I think I got the rail signals right. We've got, what are these ones called? They're called chain signals? Yeah, chain signals. So the chain signal's on the right, and then when you exit the intersection, we go to the rail signal. What is that called? That's, yeah, just regular rail signal. I think that'll do. Let's blueprint that up. Okay, and then with this rail block, what we can do is we can remove the T and just make it a right angle and keep the signals in place in case you ever want to turn the right angle into a T. Actually, let's not keep the signals in place. Let's leave the signals out of the situation. Saves on resources and prevents complications. Making these at night. Sorry for the dark vision there. But we got this one, so that's a right angle. Let's turn that into a blueprint. Okay, I think the next thing that we want to do is we want to be able to create some sort of loop so that the train can come in, hit the loop to drop off resources, come back, and then get back on the rail network. And this is the one that I'm not certain exactly how I want to do it. I think this works for the loop. The train will come in. Oh, did I do it backwards? I did do it backwards. Crap. Did I do all of mine backwards? Oh, jeez. No, I've got it right. Drives on the right. Okay. Let's fix that. I'm gonna take these and put them over here. Much better. Okay, I think I've put together a unloading station that will work for my design. And with a bit of tweaking, we can change this into a loading station. Now these are all red belts. I think there might be a more efficient way with blue belts, but we can just upgrade these to blue belts and it should work pretty good. The next thing that we need to do is we need to consider parking with the new feature that exists where you can build train groups with train schedules. One of the things that you can take advantage of is sending trains to a parking lot. And so I want to see if I can design a parking lot within this loop. Okay, I think that I've got parking for 7 trains. That's pretty good inside that loop. Crap, I just realized that that's not connected to the rail. How did that happen? Oh man, is that gonna mess everything up? Oh, I think it is. Okay, we've got that fixed. That's our train station, and now I need to go back and make sure that, oh man, make sure that the other ones work. So let's blueprint this up and see what the other ones are doing. Okay, I have fixed the problem with the train station not being on the rails. It wasn't as bad as I thought. But next up we want to do a fuel or a liquids unloading station. So let's focus on doing that next. Can I not put lights on all those? No. Whoops. No big deal. Okay, I think this works for fuel unloading, so I'm going to go ahead and blueprint this one up. And then I need to flip the pumps for loading purposes. Rotate. I'm sure that when I actually get around to using this, I'm going to find that I have overlooked something significant. One of the things that I will include is I'll put some sort of circuit on there that says when to push or pull a train, I think, or maybe that gets written into the train schedule. I don't remember. It's been a while. Okay, I've got the loops, and I probably could start to consider dropping in some, dropping them in and starting to make use of them. So how do I want to do this? I really want to get my iron flow up because I'm running very dry on steel. So maybe my first loop would be steel or iron, which probably would fit in just south of where I'm currently, where the loop currently is. And the stone can be rerouted. Eventually we might make a loop for the stone once we blast this cliff. So maybe this one actually serves as the iron. No, let's go one south. Okay, we're setting up the circuit condition. I think I calculated that if the ore is below 81,000, there would be room for a train's load of iron ore. So we'll output a signal of 1. That'll go to the train station. We'll set the train limit. There we go. Train limit 1. And I think we should be able to go all the way down and create a loading station. So many magazines. I'm never going to run out of magazines. That's where all my... Oh, okay. Looks like we're about to load our first train here. I've set this train up to go to ore pickup until the inventory is full. And then I've got smart drop as a interrupt, and it looks at the cargo and it will go to the type of cargo it's holding, which would be in this case iron ore, and it'll go to a iron ore drop location and drop that iron ore. So once the thing is full, we should be able to see it do that trick. Let's put it on automatic. Oh, well, it didn't wait until it was full. No, don't go without me. It's so fast. I thought it would wait for me. Oh man, that's disappointing. Okay, well, we'll get up there and we'll see if it's doing what it's supposed to do. It looks like it's stopped at the train station, and that's a good thing. And we are there, and it's unloading. Okay, why is it asleep? Oh, probably because that other train station doesn't have the full. What's it got? It's got 4,500 iron. Okay, so it's waiting until there's enough iron for it to need a train. So, I think it's working as planned. And why is this line backed up? Go, go, go. Oh, right there. Eventually we'll be able to get rid of this long, long line of chaotic mess. Yeah. Good stuff. The train worked as intended. Let's clean up some old lines and make things happy. Oh, here comes another train load. Woo! Now the next thing I need to do is make sure that I have a spot where the trains can go to refuel and a spot where the trains can go to park. Rocket fuel is being made over here. I'm thinking what I'll do is I will run the rail over this way and maybe do a loop right here for getting rocket fuel for refueling, and then I'll carry the rail up like this for things that might need to go out at this location or pick up that copper there. So let's do it. That is right like that. Okay, I put a little refueling loop close by to the production of the rocket fuel. The robots can fly back and forth, dropping fuel into the chests. I have named all the stations Refuel. Yeah. Okay. Next up, we want a parking spot for copper dropping, which would also be basically a loop. I wonder if there's room here or if I made a mistake and got in the way. Sure enough, I made a mistake. This loop would just barely scrape that. But what I can do is I can put the copper loop right here and do a little loop there. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay, we've got some rocket parts next to our rocket lab. We need to maybe consider getting some more rockets ready. But we have our loop for copper, and we just need to copy paste this loading ramp for our copper, and then we have to make a spot where we can get copper, and where that might be is as of yet unknown. I do think that this is a decent spot for exiting. I don't think we need these anymore. Let's get rid of these rails. Maybe those are eventually going to go away. how they keep getting repaired, but they're going to run out of bullets. I don't even think those really serve a purpose anymore. It's just outside of the zone. Let's demo those. Oh, that cliff right there is going to make it hard until I get the ability to detonate. But I think I was going to put that was going to be an exit when I decide to go outside of the base. But I think I could put a copper pickup loop here, which would pick up from this pile and this pile. So let's do that. Let's grab our T, put a T right there, and then grab our unloading. Put that right there. And then this is, and do away with those. And this is where we'll pick up our copper at. So we'll call this, well, let's actually just copy paste this. Okay, now we can name this pickup. And we can change this to that. Okay, these we'll grab from down here, and these we'll grab from up there. That works out quite nice. Okay, we have a working copper train that's getting fed. We can more or less delete these lines that seem to be doing weird things. Why did it stop? There we go. No energy. And we have our first copper shipment. Hooray! Let's do that, and then we can start clearing out this old copper line. Oh my copper's dumping onto the train tracks. Let's there we go. Old copper line, say goodbye. New copper line, say hello. I think what we can do is, we now have the ability, I think we need to have all of that be red. Let's just double check our rate calculator. That takes in, yeah, half of a red belt. So let's make all of these, upgrade all of these to red. I think we can do that with the blue as well. Not the blue, but the iron. All those can be red. Okay, it might take a little bit of time to get that up and running, but we've slowly been upgrading to green Mark III assemblers. Okay, so I'm having power problems all of a sudden. The coal seems to have slowed down. I bet you what I should do is I should actually have coal inserters over here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make those coal inserters. I also should be switching over to nuclear power. And putting a lot more solar up. Okay, one thing that I noticed that I need to fix real quick is I think I was missing a few rail signals on my parking spot. So we're going to go up here and tweak this block blueprint, and it was the train parking one. Drop that in there. Okay, we have that fixed now. In the process of fixing it, we cut off our stone, so we're just gonna do away with that and reconnect our stone. Okay. I think maybe we'll call that for the episode. One of the shorter episodes, and then we will focus on nuclear energy next, because we've had a couple of low power occurrences, so we need to get that taken care of. Yeah. All right. Moosetro signing out. Have a good evening.